All right, I think we have everybody here, so let's go ahead and rock and roll.
Flamini?
Yep.
Funderburg? Here. Johnson?
Here.
Lopez?
Here.
McFarland?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Zimmers?
Here.
That is 7 present.
President's report, I just have a couple of things tonight. One of them, I want to clarify something I talked about at the last board meeting that has to do with the immunizations and the fiscals. I just want to make sure that people understand that those are required prior to the first day of school or on the first day of school. We will have an exclusion date, but those we do need for people to get those in before school starts, or at least by the first day. And have we determined yet what the exclusion date will be?
It's the 10th of September.
The 10th of September?
The day after, so after the 10th day.
Right, it backs up to, I think,
So it will
Memorial Day
be the
weekend, so-
Tuesday after
right,
Labor Day,
Right.
is what's been determined?
I thought it was supposed to be the Friday before.
Well, that's the date we actually exclude them, and then they don't come back to school on that. Is that what you mean by that, or can they not come to school on that Friday?
My understanding, they couldn't go to school on that Friday.
Okay.
Isn't that the 10th day of the month?
That is the 10th day.
So it would then be the following day that they would not be able to be in attendance.
I guess I'm a little confused because I held off on announcing that the last time because I was told that somebody's gonna make a decision on that prior to this meeting. So could somebody please let me know this week what the drop
We
dead
will.
date will be?
We will, and we'll communicate it very clearly on our
Okay.
website then.
Because we need to get that out to the public. We can't keep putting this off and not knowing what the date is. So let's be a little more succinct about this so parents know what the date is. So if somebody could just let me know that this week. I see she's not here tonight, but I want to recognize Kathy Crum. This is her last board meeting, unless she just wants to come back just for yucks and just, attend them after she retires, but, which I'm highly doubting. But I want to praise her for the excellent job that she's done for this school district over the many years. She has a unique talent that not everybody has. She's been the head of teaching and learning for several years, and that is a certain skill set. We have a very talented person coming in behind her, and so I don't think we're going to miss a lick. But Kathy has done a yeoman's job in everything that she's done in this district. So I just wanted to recognize her in that capacity. She will be missed, and I know she's going to enjoy retirement. I doubt that she's going to retire, but congratulations to her on her imminent retirement. So at this time, we'll start board salutes, and Mr. Flamini, would you like to start off?
Yeah, I have something to give our longtime superintendent and most recent interim superintendent from the Board of Education. Dr. Hill, if you could come forward. This surprises you, doesn't it? Good. Ladies at the museum felt sorry for me. They wrapped it up. They knew better.
They had you pegged right.
That's right.
Well, thank you very, very much.
And look at it real quick.
That's something jumps out at it.
He's an old amateur historian like I am, and he'll.
Nothing wrong with that.
They're amateurs, though. Springfield Public Schools, they know something about all of it.
Oh, boy. Abraham Lincoln traveled this way, the America Lincoln lived in. Gorgeous. Well, thank you very much.
That is, as you go through that, their pictures are used per page, taken by somebody that can really take them, and coupled with the guy who is probably one of the most well-known in the professional historians as a Lincoln historian, David Burlingame.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, the pictures in that are just breathtaking, and the things that you'll love that.
Said before, it's been a labor of love, except for writing board policy. That was great. The rest of it was great.
I'm sorry.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Funderburg?
We all attended many graduations. It was a wonderful weekend, starting off with Lawrence Friday evening, and all day long on Saturday, we had a little excitement with the Springfield High graduation. We all muddled through, and I just commend everybody, parents, administrators, PCC Cube staff. You guys did a great job, got everybody safe and then back on track. I just wanted to say a special shout out to NALO. You were at more stuff than we all were, and you had a bright smile on your face the entire time, and you were toting that camera, and it was just really a good professional job and a very good face for the district, so thank you.
Thank you.
I believe she was sick the night before.
Yes, that's right.
Next, okay, well, I would echo Mrs. Funderburg's sentiments about the graduations. I did all 4. I keep telling people for my age I'm doing pretty well, but turned out to be a pretty long day. But I always enjoy it. I love the sweaty hands, the cold hands, the warm hands. I get a little bit of all. And I'm always the one who tries to keep a bottle of hand sanitizer first, but it's a lot of fun. And I also had an opportunity to attend the alternative school committee meeting on last Wednesday or Thursday last week. And I think we had a great discussion, and I think that committee is really working hard and is going to come up with some great solutions or some great programs that we can have intertwined in the district. Mrs. Morrison is the leader of that group, and Rick and Lou. But it's a good group that I think is going to be expanded, but they're also looking at ways to expand the knowledge that they're gaining among themselves to spread the word to the people that are in the buildings that actually handle some forms of discipline, some forms of alternative education. And I think we're going to make great progress. We intend to meet, I think, again in September. So I was quite impressed with the discussion. So I commend you, each of you.
Mr. Fryland?
I was also a 4 for 4 a couple weekends ago, so I want to thank all the parents and students and staff for wonderful graduations. And based on my math, I think we had over $20 million in scholarships this year come out of our high schools, so that's excellent. I also want to salute Stacy Larson from Graham Elementary School, literacy coach, Rhonda Cook, who's our Title I Parent Educator Coordinator, and Peggy Cormany, who is our District Family and Community Engagement FACE Coordinator. The 3 of them put on a presentation at the Central Illinois Volunteerism Conference at UIS last week, dealing with Common Core and how it affects volunteer programs. It was well attended by a lot of nonprofits around the region, and based on the evaluations I saw, was handled very well, so I want to thank them for that.
I'd like to salute the 3 folks that are at the various high schools that support a program that works with seniors and preparing them to go to college. And it has been very, very successful. Mr. Rambeck, am I correct? Stephen?
It's better looking at the book.
There you go. Stand on that chair. No. But, because when you take a look at the group of kids that now make it through the portals of a college or university, a lot of that can be attributed to those 3 people. We work with those kids all the time, and it's a great program. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I'd like to give a board salute to Mary Wyman. She is the coordinator for the Parent-to-Parent program. This past week, there was a meeting of the parents for students with disabilities, and Mary ran that meeting. It was, very well run and prepared, and there's just a great conversations going on, between the parents and administrators. Ms. Gill was there, and, I think that there's a lot of positive things that are going to be happening in the future with our students with disabilities.
Well, I missed all the graduations. I apologize. I had a wedding in Indiana, but Mr. Zimmers filled me in on text message when you guys were going to the basement. It sounded like it was a good time. I do look forward to graduation, but I had a wedding to attend. I got to participate in the Southeast golf outing. Met the new football coach at Southeast, young guy. Looks excited about doing good over at Southeast and kind of turn the program around. And I want to thank some of the district people that were there, Mr. Sanders, Mr. McVeigh. They almost hit me a couple times with their golf balls, but that's a whole nother issue. Mr. Betts was there, who also was my high school principal. So it's a big thing going at Southeast. They had about 90-plus golfers, and it goes back to Booster Club over there. So it was a good time. So.
I also attended all 4 graduations, and this was especially nice for me this year because this senior class was my last group that I had at Jefferson, so it was kind of fun to see all those kids coming across. Most of them are at Southeast, but I did have some at Landrieu and some at Springfield High, so that was a fun day for me. And as far as the scholarships, later we have 2 people speaking to us from the Illinois College Advising Corps, and they've been a big part at Landrieu and Southeast of helping these students get scholarships and kind of guiding them in the process and the admissions and all that. And so we're gonna hear a little bit later from them, the work that they've been doing, and we really appreciate what you've done. And also, last Monday I was able to attend the teaching and learning team had a workshop for teachers and administrators in the district. It was for the domains of the Danielson, and it was fantastic. I didn't get to stay except for the first session. I had to leave mid-morning, but I really give kudos to you. It was very well thought out, very well planned, and we probably had, 150, 200 people there represented from every school in the district. So my hat's off to you guys for that organization and that. It was really, really useful. So thank you.
All right, should I go ahead?
Sure.
I just want to piggyback off the integrated PD and just thank all of the instructional support service team that put that training together. It was a great day, and once again, we had a full team from every single school across the district participating in that, learning about engagement for learning, assessment for learning, and then the school culture that we want to have in place for learning. And the teams all came up with plans to take back to their planning at their school site, so it's going to be exciting to see how that rolls out. So once again, Sheila, I know you're sitting in that chair. Kathy Crum had a great deal to do with that as well. Cherie and Ann and all the work that we did across our instructional support services. And I too want to give a shout out to Kathy Crum, who's been a mentor of mine. Sheila, we're going to do it, but we know we have big shoes to fill with Kathy, and together we're going to work hard to get that done. But she has meant a lot to both of us, and we've been trying to download her brain for the last few weeks. So she had another event tonight and asked for tonight off, and I said, well, we would honor her anyway. But I do want to jump ahead in the agenda, if it's okay. Sure. We have some employment appointments tonight that will come up in 10.1 of our agenda, but we have some very young visitors in the crowd that probably would like to not stay for the whole board meeting back there at the back. And I just wanted to introduce some of our new principal assistants tonight, and also a guidance dean that will be named at Washington Middle School. So we'll get started. We're as principal assistant at Dubois Elementary. We're going to be honoring Wendy Flock tonight. Okay. Wendy is a Grow Your Own, graduated from Landrieu High School. I won't make you tell me what year, but we'll do that. She's also our summer school principal for the summer and doing a great job over at Du Bois as we do our Title I Math Summer School. So I know you have some visitors with you if you'd like to introduce them.
I do. I have my mother, Jane Gilpin, my father, David Gilpin, my significant other, Rod Connolly. I'd like to thank the board and the district for this great opportunity. So
Thank you.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate all the years of service you've had with the Springfield Public Schools and look forward to growing with you. All right.
I had this young lady at Washington. Of course, I was, 18 at the time, I think.
That's
I was very young, so. But very happy for you. It's great.
All right. Next is principal assistant at Butler Elementary. Dan thought he was going to get out of being at a board meeting, but we're named Dan Ford tonight as principal assistant at Du Bois. And I know you have a very special guest, so if you'd like to introduce your family.
Sarah, who's a teacher at Landrieu, and daughter Addie, who's 4.5 months old, just had her first board meeting in front of the
Yeah.
last one.
I thought she was going to sign up for Grow Your Own. Yeah. All right, thank you. I really look forward to working with you in this new endeavor.
I thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to getting back in the building with students and being able to work with students and educators and great principal and basic age. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Okay, is Brittney here? I see Chris.
Yes, she could not. She is actually getting married next week, and so she is planning for her wedding.
Well, and I'll give her that. I met her and her fiance last week, and so we're looking forward to, what's her new name going to be again? Bates, Hopper Bates. Okay, so we'll tonight also be voting on Brittney Hopper as the assistant principal at Feitchens Elementary School. So she also has a lot of history in the district and is working right now at Franklin Middle School. Really looking forward to working with Brittney and her enthusiasm. So we have a great 3 new principal assistants. And last but not least, we have Kenesha Boozer, who will be named guidance dean at Washington Middle School. And she's right there. And she too is a Grow Your Own, graduating from the Springfield Public Schools. And I know you have some family you'd like to introduce as well.
Everybody did. My mother, she was Boozer, my dad, my sister, her boyfriend, my friend JoJo, my friend Tiffany, her grandmother, my grandparents, my brother here. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I can't wait to work more with the school I've already been teaching at. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, we have the principals here. Recently, serving as a science teacher at Washington Middle School, but also the department chair for science. So you've got a lot of great experience you're bringing into your dean role of supporting students in their learning process. So welcome aboard. Okay, those are our 4 main, and so we give you the gift of if anybody wants to, move on and leave, we let you do that at this time. All right, thank you and welcome.
Okay, at this time, we're going to go to discussion items. Do any board members have any old business they'd like to discuss?
I do.
Okay.
A request for a later board meeting. Can we get an update regarding scope and how they'll be handling the influx of new families with the Wednesday early dismissal?
We sure can. We've been working on a plan of action for that, and we can bring something forward.
Great, thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Anyone else?
I have a question in regards to the Wednesday early dismissals. Is there going to be is each school going to set its agenda for that meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so, and how do they report that to you as the superintendent?
Well, we're actually working on a process right now. It's a part of our contract negotiations, making sure we have some really specific language about how often our district people can present and how often the schools are going to have to actually, use collaboration time. And in that is an accountability plan. And I would think it would be streamlined through whoever's the supervising principal for that building. Then, for instance, I'll have a couple schools, Sheila and Cherie and Ann, and also Kim Leverett, who I think's in the crowd, also will be responsible for making sure we check in with specific schools on what they're doing in their agendas and turning those in.
Okay, so, and I would assume that there are some recommendations from 1900 on some topics that need to be
Yes,
covered.
very much so. That's really, Krista Wiedekamp, I see you back there in the crowd. We have a real specific plan, so the topics, the types of topics that can be covered and how much time can be covered with district level stuff versus the teachers collaborating around their curriculum and design and student work and things of that nature. We can show that to you once we get it through our negotiation process for sure.
Okay, because I'd like to do that because, and I also think that, like on the alternative committee, some of the information that comes through there maybe could be disseminated through that Wednesday.
Okay.
Some stuff that needs to be district-wide in terms of
Just a
what's
better
going on.
communication
A
plan.
better communication plan, yeah. Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, at this time, do any board members have any new business? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Gill. She's going to introduce our speakers.
Okay. At this time, if the Illinois College Advising Corp could come on up to the podium, we'll give them a second. We have with us today Tyler O'Donnell from Landrieu High School and Bethany Carmian from Southeast High School, and you'll just give us a little update on what your role has been and your progress and the things that you've been working on in these two high schools. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening, everybody. As she said, my name is Tyler O'Donnell. This last year, I've been the Illinois College Advising Corps Advisor at Landrieu High School, and this is my colleague, Bethany Carmian, who has been the advisor at Southeast. And we would like to share with you a little bit about our program and the great things that we've been able to accomplish this year as a partner organization with District 26.
All right, so, well, the Illinois College Advising Corps, we're a nonprofit organization. We operate out of the University of Illinois, all 3 campuses. We employ, I'll get a little closer to this. We employ recent graduates as part of our near-peer model to really, interact with the students. Like I said, we're from all 3 campuses. So Tyler himself is from the University of Illinois at Chicago. I'm from Urbana-Champaign campus. We're in 23 high schools around the state of Illinois. The primary purpose of the Advising Corps is to serve students who are typically underserved. Our students are low-income, first-generation college students, and our minority students. To be in ICAC school, the school population has to be 50% or more free or reduced lunch. ICAC has a mission not only to enroll college students, that's our Access initiative. Tyler and I have been, the last year for Tyler and the last 2 years for me, college access advisors, as well as a completion initiative. ICAC also has a retention component, of which I will be joining this coming year. I'm returning to grad school for my master's as part of an assistantship. I'll be continuing to actually work with Southeast and Landrieu students through their first year of college. That's a little bit about ICAC.
All right, and I would just like to start talking about Landrieu High School and some of the great things we were able to accomplish this year. So, as you know, at Landrieu, there's Mr. Steve Ramback, who is in the crowd tonight. He's the post-secondary coach at Landrieu High School, and he's been my mentor all year long. And I work with him to assist the students at Landrieu. A little bit about Landrieu Demographics. Most of you might know this, but approximately 64% of students are low income. 3.8% are homeless, and this is about 2 years ago that I got these numbers from, so that might have actually changed and increased. Together with District 186 this year, we've achieved some great numbers, numbers that we haven't seen in years previous at Landrieu. 205 seniors completed the FAFSA, which is 99%, which rose last year from 67. 125 students have received scholarships totaling $5.92 million. Additionally, 70% have received Illinois MAP grants or federal Pell Grant money, which is approximately $1.5 million. And we have assisted around 10 students to enlist in military branches. 99% of our seniors have completed an application to at least one school. 141 have applied to 3+ schools. Our goal was to have all 99% apply to 3+, but 141 is a good chunk of that. 202 seniors have attended a college representative visit, and 519 sophomores and juniors have participated in our school visits to approximately 12 different campuses around the state of Illinois. Our interaction totals, I've had over 1,700 individual interactions with students ranging from freshmen to seniors. Almost 4,000 have participated in group meetings, whether that be room presentations, events after school for FAFSA completion, parent meetings, 195 individual parent meetings as well. And I would just like to take this opportunity to give a huge thank you to Mr. Ramback, who has been the best possible boss I could have hoped for. He's been a mentor to me. He's been a colleague and a friend, and I couldn't have accomplished the great things that we did this year without him being there. He opened tons of doors for me this last year at Landrieu and in my future. And I would like to take this opportunity to say, go Lions, and we hope that we will build on the great success that we had this past year.
All right, and so to continue, Southeast High School, again, I started my 2-year commitment in 2012, the same time that Teresa Watkin became the post-secondary coach there. I mentioned earlier we have that 2-year commitment to our schools typically, or 2-year commitment as advisors to facilitate that near-peer thing. So I will be leaving. I'm officially too old for the high school students. So about Southeast, approximately 60% of the total population receives free or reduced lunch. And of a survey that we did with the seniors, approximately 63% are first-generation college students. So that makes things fun. So as far as our seniors served, about 175 or 74% submitted the FAFSA this year. Some historical data, in 2012, that number was 54%. Last year for 2013, it was 67%. And so this year, continue to increase bit by bit, 74%. 100% of them did either a college application or had committed to the military. And 120 or 51% had submitted at least 3 college applications. And of our seniors, 189 met with at least 1 college representative in the college room. And 204 were served by the college room 5+ times. And I believe that number was supposed to be 192, and I repeated, my apologies. So we're served 10+ times. So something that Teresa Watkin and I were helping with this year was the senior homeroom, which is when we had all of the seniors all at once, twice a month, to really kind of facilitate some of the college-going, post-secondary plan action for them. That was really exciting this year to get to see all of them, well, almost all of them, all at once for 30 minutes. This year, about $4.9 million in scholarships were awarded as a class, and one really fun thing I wanted to make note of, the Illinois College Advising Corps has an annual financial literacy bowl, which we take the students up to UIC campus, and it's kind of a scholastic bowl style competition. Southeast came in second, missed first by 1 point, so.
It's
Yeah.
a touchy subject.
But I was very proud of them for that second place. And each member of the team, there were 6 of them, each of them got a scholarship for that as well. So, junior outreach, I wanted to bring this up because I know when I came last year, someone asked, well, you know, you do a lot of work with the seniors. As Tyler and I both have included this year, yes, we do work with student populations other than the seniors. Of our junior outreach, we did 209 of them had met with a college representative, 92 participated in college trips, and we I was kind of surprised by these numbers. 290 were served. We had met with at least 2 times. 257 we had served, at least 3 times. And like I said, with the senior homerooms, we also, towards the end of the year, Southeast did something a little innovative and had 2 senior success homerooms for the juniors, which Teresa Watkin and I were able to facilitate some, ACT outreach, college-going activities. The ACT outreach we actually did during U.S. history classes, but then those 2 senior homerooms, one of them was pretty college-going heavy, and the second one was very financial aid heavy. So, this year's class of seniors should be pretty prepared. And I did want to share one more thing about something that the Illinois College Advising Corps has going on this summer, actually, for both Southeast and Landrieu. We're having College Jumpstart. This is actually the 2nd year we did it. The 2nd year we're doing it, and it'll be out at UIS, August 11th through 13th. It'll be approximately 9 to 3. So if anyone wants to pop on by and see what we're doing out there, it's kind of like college boot camp, where we really get the seniors going on. They will actually, last year I had students actually submit an application and found out, within 2 weeks that they'd been admitted to college. And the 13th, we'll be taking a college trip to SIU Carbondale, which, because it's so far, it's a little bit harder for either of our schools to make a trip out there during the academic year. So again, we just would like to say thank you so much for your time. I've been so grateful to have served the 2 years that I did at Southeast. I can't imagine, where my life would have been without it. It's just been awesome. This is some of the contact information for our program director, our retention coordinator, Tyler, and myself. So again, thank you very much for your time.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I do. On the Jump Start, it says anticipating 60+ attendees. How, you have room for more than that, or is it just first come, first serve, or?
That's kind of what we were anticipating. Well, we sent out the applications in April and had them have a due date of early May. And so we have approximately 85 or so that say they're going to come. I'm just anticipating around 60 won't have made a commitment to, having football practice at that time, or family will have sprung up a vacation. Just kind of judging by what happened to me last year, I'm guessing we'll have around 60.
We're actually part of an initiative right now as well called Summer Melt, where we're trying to follow up with seniors who are transitioning to their first year in college, and as well as juniors who are planning on attending the Jump Start. So I've been reaching out to a few to make sure that they still know the times and where to go. So we're in progress. So.
Okay.
All right. I would think most of the high schools would be sending out some sort of a mailing around that same time. Wouldn't you think, Mrs. Morrison? I think they would send out their kind of back-to-school mailing by then because we start school, so maybe they could add something in their bulletins for you as well. That'd be great. Can you kind of spell out the FAFSA? You kept talking about that, and just explain what that is real quick, what that acronym is.
Yeah, it's a free application for federal student aid.
Okay.
Essentially what this form is, all the seniors essentially need to do this if they are going to gain any sort of financial aid from the government in order to go to school. It does not include scholarships, that's individual basis, but this will provide them with approximately $5,700 from the federal government, as well as $4,700 from the state of Illinois if they remain inside of Illinois in their post-secondary plans. In order to achieve that, they all have to fill this out by early February. The money goes quickly, especially from the state of Illinois. But we were very successful in what we were able to do this year, and how quick it turned around right after Christmas break. It was very hectic in the college rooms, but
Despite the snow days.
Right.
Sorry about that.
I just have a couple of comments. Tyler, I just recently met you. I've been around Bethany more in my visits to Southeast, and I always try to visit the college room when I come, and I've always been amazed at the number of kids coming in to give you whatever form you're asking for, or application, or online looking for things, and so really appreciate the job you guys have done. And I don't want this to go amiss, that people realize you guys, between the two schools, have over $10 million worth of scholarships. That is huge, huge. So congratulations. And I know you did it, we know, with your partners out Southeast and at Landrieu, but good job. That's great. So appreciate it. Anybody else? Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll have the treasurer's report.
Joe?
Members of the board, the district ended the month of May with a cash balance of almost $14 million in the bank for all funds. Interest rates with Illinois funds averaged 0.11% during May. Earned interest for the month was $3,280. Interest year to date is $45,000. A scheduled investment is also attached. We currently have approximately $18.4 million invested. We've also included a line of credit schedule, and through May we have borrowed approximately $14 million for that line.
Any questions or comments?
Do we have any idea what the line of credit's going to look like next year? I know the budget's still very much questionable, but do we have an idea?
It's a 2-year line of credit we received for $22 million for each year. We're going to use all of that this year. We're going to have to borrow the last $4 million on Thursday. We'll get taxed on Friday and pay it back. So, with having a balanced budget, hopefully, we'll probably be in about the same position next year.
Okay. So you don't anticipate having to go back and ask for more than the line is?
Not at this point.
Okay.
It'll be close again, but I think that'll probably be enough.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Joe. At this time, we're going to take a recess. We're going to have a public hearing on the 2014-15 proposed budget. And at this time, if someone would like to make a motion and also a second to go into recess.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay. And so at this time, we're going to turn it over to Mrs. Gill.
Would you like me to call the roll?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Thunberg.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Yeah, aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes.
Turn it to me, but I'm going to turn it right back over to Mr. Basco.
Nothing's really changed since we first put the budget on file in May. Currently, the fund balance in the ed fund is about $2.7 million. We don't know exactly what our state funding is going to be. They're telling us our proration is going to be around 89%, so I think this, this number for now is going to be pretty close to where we are. 2.5 to $3 million somewhere in there, I think. That's a good our state funding number.
Joe, I have a question for you. I mean, having money in reserves is good for our bond rating, right? That helps us start moving back where we,
Right.
okay.
So as soon as we can get back to our 15%, which is a tall task, but that certainly needs to be the goal.
Well, and then the bond, the last time we had a bond rating decrease, they said as soon as we started putting reserves back in, they would start looking at us again, not just the full 15%, but any reserves.
Any reserves will help, and then also part of our bond rating is because of the state of Illinois. That was a big red flag in there as well.
Having a good bond rating helps us how?
Well,
Explain
it
that.
gives us a lower interest rate when we go out to sell bonds whenever that next instance may come up.
Any other questions from the board? And this is a public hearing. Does anyone in the public have a question or a comment? Okay. Hearing none. We now need to,
Motion to move back.
thank you, motion to move back into regular meeting.
Second.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Hovnanian.
Aye.
Funderburk.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes, the motion carries.
Now, superintendent's report.
All right. Well, we have kicked off 2 of our summer school programs, and they are going phenomenally. I know we've got Renee back there. How many do we have in elementary summer school right now? 350 students, and they're over at Dubois Elementary School, and it's focused around mathematics and working with our students in the Title I program. So Larry, I know you've been over there a great deal, and we've really had a great kickoff with that. And then I know we're also well into our middle school summer school program, and I think we have 136 to date, okay, right now. And then we also have starting next week, right, Cherie? Is it, what high school starts? Today, okay, today was the kickoff. Okay, 481 are attending the Landrieu High School SIG Summer School, and then also we have another 194. Can anybody still sign up, or are we?
They can still sign up.
Okay.
Today, tomorrow, and about 2 more days. And when I asked just before I came down, they were at 211.
Oh, it's increased since this morning. Okay, great.
It's already increased a little bit since this morning.
What should they do if they want to sign up for any of the high school classes?
They should just go to Landrieu.
Okay.
And they can just sign up. They should do a payment. And it's very simple. We feel very fortunate. We've had assistant principals from all the high schools participating and helping to look at transcripts. So it's made the process very smooth.
Okay, wonderful. And I should note that we have summer feeding programs at Du Bois and at Grant and at Landrieu High School during this time that's actually open up to any student who wants to come and receive a meal, and actually adults can come and pay a fee too. And then there'll be other opportunities at Ridgely as the Freedom School opens up in the Compass Summer Program as well. So we have some different opportunities throughout the district for summer feeding that go along with this, and those are all posted on our website, and they start at different times throughout the summer based on the programs that are being held at those schools. And I think Wanless School kicked off too because they have summer scope there. Is there any others that I forgot to mention with the summer? Okay, good deal. And those are breakfast and lunch that they can go and get at those schools. All right. Also, we have I just wanted to thank Gina and Kim, Gina Limsargis and Sherman and Kim Leverett, who I think is still in the room maybe, for all their shoes right there, for all the hard work that you've done and the interviews that we sat in. It takes all day when we're interviewing for these great candidates, and I just want to thank you for that work of getting our teachers in place for next school year and getting all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, because it does take a lot of work to get all of that done, and I really appreciate your time that you spent on that, because we end up staying a lot later at night to get all those done, and I appreciate all that time. I think we were here till 10 o'clock a couple nights in a row, making sure we got that done. Also wanted to bring up something tonight as a report to the board, and I did send this out in my superintendent's bulletin, that just, we talk about state funding a lot and the proration, and we talk about our local funding and how we can get, resources for that, but we also have federal funding that comes into our district, and that makes up about 15% of our funding at the district level. And this last couple of weeks, we've had to really scramble, and I want to give a shout out to Larry McVeigh and Kathy Crum and Sheila Boozer and also Lou Baker for the work that they've had to do, because we got some negative news this week, or last week, right as the session ended, that the TRS had voted in really early last year. In October, November, we started hearing about it, and then it was official that our TRS payments would go down from 35% per employee that we have to pay to 7.4%. And that was great news, because that really frees up a lot of money per employee. Then we can either add staff with that through that federal funding, or we can use that money in other ways to provide technology and get some other supplies into the hands of students. And as the whole funding outlook came through with the state, that money was actually rescinded and pulled back, and now we're going to have to pay 33%. So they did give us a 2% break from where we were, but we're still now going to be held. So we had already planned on 7.4, as is every district across the state, and we had to go back and really scramble. And there was an $80 million hole that had been caused by that, and with the funding the way it was at the state level, that was not able to, so the legislature pulled that funding back. So I just want to thank you for all the work you've done to get our budgets back where they need to be in a timely manner. Some of the outcomes of that, maybe a couple stories behind what that number has meant to us. We have a lot of iPads that are out in the building, and we had planned to do 4 trainings, and we've had to cut that by 1/4, and we're only going to be able to do 3 trainings for that. We also had some schools that wanted to increase their parent educators to full-time through our Title I money, and now that's only going to be part-time parent educators at those schools. We had a lot of some training put in place for our writing curriculum at middle and high school, and we've had to reduce the amount of time for that as well that we would normally have been able to fund through that federal money for teacher stipends and teacher salaries. And also, some of our schools were looking at increasing their intervention staff to work with students on their literacy and math skills, and those positions hadn't been hired, but we aren't going to be able to post them or hire for them because of some of these cutbacks. So that definitely did hit us. We aren't the only district that hit. It's every single school district in the state. I know Lou and all of you guys have heard about this more. So Mr. McVeigh, is there anything else that I need to discuss around those?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's a rough day to get that news, I know. I remember in Unit 5, where the district I came from, the day that we learned that information, we were ecstatic about the number of staff that were going to be able to be added on Unit 5, and it was the same here, I'm sure, when you heard that it really affected our individual Title I school budgets and our Title II for teacher development budgets, as well as our money for our students with disabilities and also our ELL learners that Lou. So I know that it's going to, we're back to where we were pretty much, so it's not a loss, it's just going back to where we were instead of once again getting that gain that we hope to have. So it's just something I wanted to give a report to the board so that you know that we're constantly in a fiscal battle, it seems, to get what we need. Okay, so I think that's pretty much wraps up my report, unless anybody has any.
Okay, at this time, we are going to do consent action items, and we'll turn it over to Mrs. Gill.
Okay, I recommend approval of consent action items 9.2 through 9.7 as described in the corresponding resolutions.
So moved.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Just a quick thank you for making that amendment on the gender identity. It's all in there now, and I appreciate it.
Lopez?
Aye.
McFarland?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Zimmers?
Aye.
Flamini?
Aye.
Vanderburg?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes. The motion carries.
Now we'll go to roll call items. Again, we'll turn it over to Mrs. Gill.
And I'll turn it over to Mrs. Sherman for personnel recommendations.
All right, President Zimmers and members of the board.
superintendent recommends adoption of personnel recommendations with one change. Page 1, letter A, classified resignation, item 1. The effective date of the resignation should be end of the day, June 3rd, 2014.
Okay, I'd like to request a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes, the motion carries.
Okay, 10.2, approval of resolution for the adoption of the budget for fiscal year 2015. Mr. Bascom.
President Zimmers, members of the board, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of said school district as follows, that the fiscal year of this school district be and the same hereby is fixed and declared to be beginning July 1, 2014 and ending June 30, 2015, that the following budget containing an estimated amounts available in each fund separately and of expenditures from each be and the same is hereby adopted as the budget of the school district for said fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, take a roll call.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes, the motion carries.
Okay, that's the end of this meeting. I do want to announce that we're going to start summer hours with the next board meeting, so board meetings will be starting at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30, starting with July the 7th. Okay, everybody have a great evening.
Thank you.